Well, hello everybody. My name is Sylvain Rochon, and I'm getting people to expand their human experience using cutting-edge technology, as always. And this week, I decided to do something I do infrequently, but sometimes I do. It is more about philosophy and concepts, social concepts and paradigms. And because I'm a bit of a revolutionary, I like to change things for the better, and technology does help out a whole lot. But sometimes we have to talk about something a little bit different. In this case, I want to talk about this so-called battle between good and evil that we see a lot in entertainment, because it is entertaining and very simple to see either a single person or a single organization as the ultimate evil that needs to be defeated for us all to be saved, and also having the hero or the only people that have the power, the reach, or the numbers, or whatever to defeat the evil. So that this battle, sometimes it's some deity versus an personification of the devil. Sometimes it's superheroes, like the superhero that is crazy psychopath, and they have the good guys and whatnot. You see that all the time. And but if you look at real society, even though we're exposed to these concepts and how history is written, it's written in those terms. Adolf Hitler, evil. The Allies, you have Churchill, and you got the American soldiers, and you got all these people. Well, these are the good guys, for example. But honestly, it's not as simple as that, and it really doesn't exist. This is an image given so that people can clearly understand who to root for and who to be angry against. Society and humanity is way more complex. It's full of gray areas. And there's really no such thing as a person that is good and one that just wants to destroy everything. I mean, for sure, there are some sick individuals on either side that can be seen as like that. But again, that's because usually they're unbalanced and sick. It's not because they're normal, balanced, chemically balanced biological individuals. If you look at biology, 95% of people have empathic imperatives. They are producing a chemical called oxytocin, and this is like the friendship drug. Okay, it's a drug that we produce in our bodies, and it causes our brain to create affinities between individuals. In particular, when we touch someone and we spend time with certain individuals, it creates a stronger bond, which we call friendship. In some kinds, it can be these bonds are also caused by oxytocin, are also those same bonds that are created between parent and child through physical contact from birth and later on. So oxytocin actually have a very strong social protective, empathetic effect with people that are directly around us, but also just by circulating in our body, it also creates empathy towards others, because we mirror what we see in the people that are close to us, friends, family, neighbors, and people that we have interactions with people that are beyond our reach elsewhere. And this is mirror neurons in our brain, so we associate if we have oxytocin circulating in our bodies. And this is just the way it is. Now, there's other drugs, one in particular called testosterone, which is produced in larger quantities by guys, by men, smaller quantities by women. That drug, when it's produced in large amounts, like in a case of aggressivity or stress, it inhibits oxytocin, so it removes the empathetic aspects. And people that have too much testosterone produced all the time, normally because of social conditions, become very selfish. They don't feel the empathy, and therefore they can have behaviors that are much more survivalist or pathological, sociologically antisocial. I have trouble talking today. Anyway, so the research that I'm posting all the links in the blog and the link to the blog is below. You can check it out. The research shows that if a society is in a stable environment where basic needs are covered, health, food, and stress is reduced to a minimum, we normally just produce the normal amounts of testosterone, normal amounts of oxytocins, and we are extremely social, cooperative, loving, empathetic. We support each other, we help each other, and it's a whole ecosystem where there's very little risk of any kind of criminality or antisocial behavior, because a very, very small percentage of people are insensitive to oxytocin. But in that environment, they have no reason to be they're selfish, but have no reason to have antisocial behavior that would be harmful and hurtful to others. So those people, it's a small percentage of the population that could potentially cause harm if push comes to shove, but if there's no stress, there's very little shove or push, right? So that's the perfect environment where humanity could essentially be completely good, quote unquote, if everybody has the basic needs met and there's no stress. So, but on the other hand, if the environment, like in some countries, there's a lot of stress, survival, and these kind of things, stress is high, there's a lot of testosterone for survival, it's the survival of the fittest because testosterone inhibits the oxytocin, people fend for themselves, or only for the immediate family where the link is strongest with the oxytocin, right? And they'll protect each other. Either you protect your family, your clan, your gang, but everybody else is fair game. You can hurt them and you won't feel a thing, right? Those are environments of high stress where basic needs are not met, where people are, where there's some kind of a oppressive environment. So using science and technology today, in particular, I'm talking about automation, AI, robotics, and a bunch of other systems surrounding that, like good healthy regulation policies, a good governance system where central to it all is the well-being of the people. For example, in a system like that, stress is really low. So, and thanks to technology, we can even enhance that, and we can move towards even better systems. I've been talking about, for example, basic income, universal basic income, as a huge first major step towards unifying basic needs being covered. And we know from previous tests on basic income, universal basic income in the past in different countries, that sometimes criminal rates would go down by as much as 40% during the first few years of the pilot period. And health costs being reduced by 8 to 10% because of lower stress. We know this works. We can do it. And because of the prevalence of information going out there and internet being faster, more accessible, and people using it, and a younger generation being more familiar with the distribution of information and also sharing information back and forth, again, because they're more used to technology and using it, there's a lot more sharing. There's a lot more people being self-employed, a lot more people doing open source programs, maker spaces, providing information, driving from, and kind of trading information and resources. Airbnb, Uber are becoming popular. These are individuals that are not protected by the law so much, but they're making a living by letting strangers into their cars or their houses. We're starting to see this is not only because of technology making this possible, the people are willing to do it and they're comfortable enough to be able to do it without causing serious problems. And we're more and more social because our stress levels are further down and our empathy levels are up, more oxytocin, less testosterone. So these products and companies are coming out, and individuals are taking themselves in their own hands and participating in these programs in these companies and starting their own because the environment is sane for it. And if we can continue pushing in this direction, in this empathetic, useful, cooperative direction where we want to provide a safety net, a low-stress environment for everybody, including the sickest, the stupidest, like everybody in a country, then we move towards a society where There's less fear. It kind of diffuses everything. Less fear, less criminality, higher health. We even need to transform how we work with our governance system, like our governments and big companies, and how we're the buyers. So we are, if we're more comfortable, we're more aware of what we buy. So we direct how development and purchase habits occur. And some companies have had to shift a whole lot into something healthier. There's still work to be done, but healthier production habits, environmentalism, for example, producing high quality products that will be healthier, all this stuff. We need to continue to be aware of this. The more we push as individuals towards reducing stress for each other, and allowing technology to do this, and changing the infrastructures to allow it as much as possible, we are building a better, sustainable, healthier, safer world for everybody. And other countries that are not as far technologically and they have more trouble, we can help them by being the examples and by starting businesses there and kind of showing the way as guides, for in some instances. And but and providing access to the internet is probably the only thing we really need to do for countries like Southeast Asia and Africa, where social rights are not quite as high as in the West. If they have access to the information, socially they can climb and progress much faster and leap forwards and build themselves their own versions of a society that is safe and cooperative and all that stuff. So it all falls into us as individuals, as smart individuals that are drivers, to make good choices and to do and to create these environments for ourselves, leveraging science and technology as much as possible. This is really, really important. I'm 42 years old. I have no children, but I'm of the age of parents, I guess, of teenagers or young or younger. And those of us in our generation, we are the builders. We are the people that are in that range where we're at the peak of our profession for the most part. We are the real powerful drivers and pile drivers. Well, we get inspired by the young generations that are seeing this and are feeling this without really knowing what's going on and how it really works. We have the wisdom to help them drive our society towards something akin to a modern paradise. And so I'm inviting you all to keep pushing in the same direction as you've always been. Support me, support other people that are talking about this, and of course support technology and the regulators to make sure it's directed in the right way, and we don't kill ourselves in the process. That's really important. That's the subject of my last blog, actually. And I think we'll be fine. I think I'll be fine, and our children will be fine, and we'll be still living when we can declare that the whole planet is, and everybody on the planet has food to eat and a roof over their heads. That will be something once we see that, and I believe I will see that within the next 25 years, 30 years. I would guess 30 years. Let's say 30 years. I'm stating it right now. This is all possible and doable around the world. Just gotta believe and do it. That's going to be it for me this week. I hope you had a great one. Next week I'll probably turn back to some technological advancements and updates. Subscribe to the channel and like it if you feel this is of value to you. And please feel free to comment and ask questions if you want in the comment section. I will check you back next week. Bye-bye.